Did notorious killer Chris Watts lead a double life as a gay man? 29-year-old Trent Balti claims he met Watts on the dating app Meet Me.
He said he didn't know if he was bisexual or gay.
Balti first came to public attention last August when he spoke anonymously to HLN's Ashley Banfield,
Chris Watts' former lover.
Now he's decided to come forward and let his face be seen. Police took Balti's story seriously and made public this interrogation video.
So we talked about money for sex, how you guys met, the amount of times you guys met. We talked a little bit more about Chris. So I believe you now.
One thing that was written about you is that you're a male escort. Are you a male escort?
No, I am not a male escort.
Balti says he and Watts sometimes got hotel rooms, which Watts paid for. He says Watts also paid for his lip injections.
Did Chris Watts pay for you to have other cosmetic procedures?
He paid for Botox in my forehead and around my eyebrows.
He shared several messages between the two of them. "I miss your face," Watts wrote in this text. Balti said they did what most couples do and watched Netflix together.
We got him into Orange is the New Black.
Did that become one of his favorite shows?
Yeah.
Balti says Watts admitted he had a family, but gave the impression he was separated from his wife, Shannon. Last February, Balti says he was even introduced to Watts' daughters, Bella and Cece, outside a shopping center in Loveland, Colorado.
Cece just talked up a storm. She was one of the happiest little girls I've ever seen. And Bella was very shy.
What was he like with his own kids?
He was very attentive, very loving.
Did they seem scared of him?
No, not at all.
How did they seem?
They seemed very comfortable with him. He was very proud of his daughters.
That night, Balti says he found out Watts was still living with Shannon.
He said that Shannon was verbally and emotionally abusive. I said, "Why don't you just file for divorce?" He said, "I'm just worried that she won't let me see the girls."
Balti says he is haunted by several comments Watts made about his family.
Chris told me it would be ideal if me and him could move to Oregon and take the girls.
He suggested to you that the two of you would pick up his daughters and flee to Oregon?
Yeah.
Did he ever talk about trying to get his wife out of his life?
Yeah, Chris spoke of that a lot.
Once, he says he overheard Shannon yelling at Watts on the phone.
Chris said there's got to be some way to get this effing bee out of my life.
That takes on a whole new meaning now, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Trent says he and Watts finally broke up in early May 2018 after 10 months of dating.
Why did your relationship with Chris end?
I just started seeing through Chris's lies.
Balti says he was shocked to learn that Watts was having a relationship with a coworker, a woman named Nichol Kessinger.
Was Chris Watts seeing you at the same time that he was seeing this woman?
Their relationship was only for 2 months, so at times up it seems like he got with her right after I ended things in May.
Just 3 days before Watts killed his wife and daughters, Balti says Watts sent him a long text.
Chris said that he was in love with me. He said that he'd never been so comfortable with someone.
When you learned that he was arrested for murdering his wife and children, how did you react?
I got ill. I was in complete shock. I wish I'd never met him.
Chris Watts had always been the kind of man people pointed to as an example of calm perfection. Quiet. Soft-spoken. Steady as stone. A husband who never argued. A father who never raised his voice. A neighbor who waved at everyone with that gentle, practiced smile. But behind that fragile image of peace, something was shifting. Something colder, darker. Something he thought he could control. It started with late-night phone vibrations he would silence with trembling fingers. Messages he deleted with a speed that made his wife suspicious. Trips he couldn't explain. Long pauses when she asked simple questions like, "Where were you? What's going on? Are we okay?" But Chris only smiled. He always smiled. No one, not his friends, not his co-workers, not even the woman sleeping beside him, knew that Chris wasn't just hiding one secret, but two affairs, two identities, two houses of cards built on lies he desperately hoped would never collide. One lover was a woman who believed Chris was rediscovering the man he wanted to be. She saw vulnerability in him, passion, longing. But the other lover, the one no one knew existed, was a man who explored desires Chris had buried deep inside himself. Desires he didn't fully understand. Desires he was terrified to admit. If you're already pulled into this unraveling story, don't forget to subscribe to Nightfall Detectives. The shadows ahead grow much darker. Chris drifted through his home like a ghost wearing someone else's face. Two secret lives pulling him in opposite directions. And neither version of him strong enough to stand without collapsing. And soon, everything would. The first affair felt like oxygen to Chris. That's what he told himself. That's how he justified the stolen kisses in parking lots, the whispered promises in dim hotel rooms, and the sudden warmth he seemed unable to find at home. She, the woman, believed she was helping him break free, helping him reclaim a version of himself he had lost. Chris played the role perfectly. The misunderstood husband. The man trapped in a marriage that no longer felt alive. The man who just needed love. She believed him. She believed every single word. But Chris wasn't just living a double life with her. Another secret identity waited in the shadows. A man he met online. Someone who knew hard truths about Chris that he had never spoken aloud. This lover brought out a different side of him. Reckless. Hungry. Desperate for the freedom of anonymity. Their meetings were intense and rare. But they cracked something open inside Chris. A part of himself he didn't understand. A part he feared more than anything else. Two lovers. Two lives. Two truths Chris was terrified would ever meet. His lies grew heavier, sticking to him like thick mud. His wife noticed the change. The coldness. The excuses. The way he avoided her eyes. If the tension is already gripping you, hit that like button. It helps Nightfall Detectives bring more chilling stories like this straight to you. Everything Chris was building. Every lie, every secret, every moment of deceit, was pushing him toward a collision he couldn't escape. And soon, the night everyone feared would arrive. The night everything fell apart had a stillness to it. A kind of cold calm that never belonged inside a home. Chris paced the hallway long after midnight. His phone glowing in his hand. His breath jittering with panic. Two lovers. Two sets of demands. Two people pushing him to choose a life he wasn't brave enough to face. His wife confronted him. She had felt the distance. Felt the emotional walls rising higher each week. But Chris denied everything. His voice steady, too steady. Like a man reading from a script. Hours later, she and the children would vanish. Neighbors gathered, confused and afraid. Police arrived with body cams recording every second. But instead of a frantic husband, they found a man whose emotions seemed strangely controlled. His arms folded. His voice flat. His answers mechanical. He didn't sweat. He didn't pace. He didn't panic. Detectives noticed little things. The way he swallowed hard when asked simple questions. The way he blinked too fast when timelines were discussed. The way his eyes darted to the floor when they asked about his phone. If you're still inside this tightening web of secrets, Share this video. Someone you know might be fascinated by how deep this story goes. Chris didn't realize it. But the facade was cracking. The mask was slipping. And the detectives circling him were trained to spot the tremors of guilt. 2 affairs. 2 identities. And one man finally running out of lies. The interrogation room was cold. Silent. A metal table. 2 detectives watching Chris with eyes sharp as razors. They had replayed every interview. Every gesture. Every stutter. Something about Chris's story didn't fit. They pressed him. Asked about timelines. Asked about his marriage. Asked about the woman he had been seeing. Chris admitted just enough to seem cooperative. But not enough to reveal the truth. He thought he could outsmart the detectives. He thought he could bury his double life forever. Then the anonymous tip came in. A caller claimed Chris had been involved with a man. Repeatedly. Secret meetings. Hidden messages. A second affair no one saw coming. When the detectives revealed the tip, Chris froze. His breath caught. His eyes broke away from theirs for the first time. And that was enough. They pressed harder. Phone records, secret apps, deleted conversations. Everything Chris tried to hide was now laid bare on the cold metal table. If you appreciate psychological deep dives like this, don't forget to subscribe. Nightfall Detectives brings you the darkest corners of the human mind. Finally, the pressure shattered him. Chris confessed. Not only to the affairs, but to the identity crisis pulling him apart piece by piece. He admitted he didn't know who he was, what he wanted, or how to escape the lies he built around himself. Detectives listened, stunned. This wasn't just infidelity. It was a complete collapse of self. A man drowning in the identities he created. The courtroom buzzed with theories. Psychologists debating motive. Reporters digging for clues. The public whispering about the double life Chris had hidden so well. But Chris sat silent. Hollow. As if the version of himself he presented for years had finally died. The judge read the sentence. 5 life sentences. No parole. No second chance. Chris didn't look up. Didn't cry. Didn't ask why. He simply accepted it. As if the prison walls were nothing more than the physical form of the lies he had been living inside for years. Now, in a small concrete cell, with nothing but a thin mattress, and the hum of fluorescent lights, Chris finally faces the truth he tried to bury. His lovers are gone. His family won't speak his name. And the man he once pretended to be exists only in photographs the world no longer believes. Guards say that sometimes, late at night, they hear him whispering murmured apologies or broken confessions meant for no one but the darkness. If stories like this make you question how deeply a person can hide behind lies, share this video and subscribe to Nightfall Detectives. We wait for you in the shadows, where the truth always finds its way out.